next concept to look at when discussing and thinking about the internet and the World Wide Web is a concept known as the digital divide. And basically, the digital divide is the haves and have nots of technology, those who have technology and those who do not have technology. And you're looking at a map here of the world that's kind of color coded, that is color coded, to represent who has access to technology. And so this is computers per 100 people. And so if there is a dark burgundy red color, that's 50 to 90 computers per 100 people, basically. And so you can see America, Canada, Europe, right? And Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. And that right there, whatever country that is, I think maybe I'm going to say South Korea. That's what it is. That's South Korea. And all those countries are doing really well, whereas these light yellow countries only have 0 to 4.5 or 0 to 5 computers per every 100 people. That's not very good because a lot of these might just be sitting right on 0. And then some there is absolutely no data. So I don't know what that's about. But right, Africa is not doing so great in this global digital divide. They do not have access to technology as people in America or Canada or Australia or New Zealand or Europe do. And so, what are the implications of that? The implications of that are that the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree. And if we do not have access to opportunities to educate and learn, then it's going to be really difficult to educate ourselves and to learn. And so countries where they are lesser developed, they're impoverished, they don't have access to educational resources or to learn about technology, well, those people aren't going to be as likely to get an education. And therefore, as they grow up, they won't know how to participate in the global economy at a higher level. And if that's happening on a systemic countrywide level, if the entire country is not educated, if the entire country does not have access to today's modern tools and doesn't know how to use them, then the entire country will continue to be systematically, undereducated and underdeveloped with workplace work skills that are needed to really contribute and produce in an effective way in today's day and age. And so that will mean that the country will continue to not earn a lot of money, not have a lot of resources, not be able to bring in technology and educational resources. And then that cycle will just continue to propagate itself. And so, how do you bridge the digital divide? How do you get technology and educational resources into these countries where they aren't there? I don't know if I have an answer, but I think money has a lot to do with it. And the reason I couple education with technology here is because technology is really a portal, a gateway to education these days, being able to access all of this information on the internet and the World Wide Web and go to places like Khan Academy or YouTube and watch videos about how to do things and how to learn. It's really a portal. Technology is really a portal to getting an education these days. So I'm not sure how the digital divide can be bridged. There was a program and the $100 laptop project. Let's see if it's still going. That was a while ago. $100 laptop. I think it's called something new now. One laptop per child, right? And so here's one laptop per child where they're trying to get really inexpensive laptops into the hands of kids and in these lesser developed countries where they have less access to technology. And of course, cellular technology is going to be another inroad to bridging the digital divide because as people get cell phones and gain access and as cellular infrastructure gets put into these countries, hopefully they'll have the resources in that infrastructure to also access the web. And so that's another way that the digital divide will be bridged, which is kind of crazy, actually. Like the third way is like we throw away our technology every 4 years. So it should be that all that technology should be just set back up in these countries, and so that they could then use it, they would just be 4 years behind us in terms of software and everything. And that does sometimes happen, but it seems like it could happen on a more efficient level. Um, so anyhow, just kind of a crazy byproduct of the world, and it sort of speaks to the fact that The fact that we just don't take all of our old technology and set it up in these countries, that speaks to something, right? Like instead we just, whatever we do with it, we do the e-waste thing. And then a lot of these countries will, some of them will break that technology down in a toxic way to get the precious metals out of it. So kind of a crazy world that we don't care for each other and connect with each other more. But maybe as we become more connected online, that will start to happen. So that's a digital divide. You could read about it on Wikipedia. One of the interesting things Wikipedia says is that there's a second level digital divide where there's not only a divide in the consumption of content, right? But there's also a divide, an even greater divide in the sense that those people who aren't even consuming content can't produce content. They can't produce content. Last thing I'll point out is here's news about the digital divide. So that's always just interesting to look at and see what people are doing to combat the digital divide and or what's going on in the news with the digital divide. So that's always an interesting resource. That is the digital divide for you.